Hey guys, Kurt here of NK Garage, and we're back with another tool haul. This one is not from the flea market, but it's flea market related. So when I go to the flea market, I buy from a lot of these same sellers week after week. And a lot of times I get to know the sellers pretty well, and I usually end up giving them my phone number after a while and say, just let me know when you're going to be at the market and whatnot. So one of my favorite sellers, his name's Elliot. He sells at the Elephant's Trunk Flea Market. Always has tons and tons of tools, power tools, lawn equipment, hand tools, all sorts of great stuff. He texted me, said he's got too much stuff and he can't fit it all in his storage unit anymore. And he's got a problem and he needs me to come pick up a bunch of stuff and help him get rid of some things. So me and Nick went down there, met him, and this is what we came home with. This is actually just some of it. This is the table of all the miscellaneous main goodies. Then I got an extra bucket of stuff down here, and Nick even picked up a couple items that are off to the side. So let's jump in and take a look at this tool haul because it's pretty exciting. First off, this is a set of Stanley wrenches in a right tool pouch. Pouch is pretty cool. I'm not sure if it's even a wrench pouch or not, but I found these wrenches and I found this empty pouch, so I kind of just put them together. So these are Stanley combination wrenches. This is the only 6-point in the group, the 7/16, the rest are 12-point. So these are all USA made, which is really awesome. Not a lot of stuff is USA made anymore. So I thought these were pretty cool. I don't know what year these are from or what decade, but we've got everything from 7/16 up to 15/16, all consecutive. Some of them, especially some of the larger sizes, they have a little bit of surface rust on here, but that should clean off just fine. Nice set. I thought it was cool. I definitely thought it was something different. You guys let me know what you think. I'm probably not going to keep them in the pouch. I just did that for display purposes for the video. I thought it'd be a little bit easier to go through. So let me just move that out of the way and we'll move on to the next wrench in the series. Totally different. We have a Proto. This is a 1/2-inch open-end line wrench, 12-point. It's the 3716 with the Pebble logo. And this is a Los Angeles model. Really cool. We actually showed up and he immediately just gave this to me and said, here's a free gift. I buy a lot of stuff from him, spend a lot of money with him, so he appreciates it. He knows I love Proto Los Angeles, so that was really cool. Next up, also Proto. Now this is new old stock and it's still in the plastic, so I'm not going to pull it out because that's going to ruin the authenticity of it being new. But what you can see here is these are Proto 500 wrenches. So these are SAE double open, full chrome polish, professional USA. So we have the 11/16 by 3/4. We have the 7/8 by 13/16, 9/16 by 1/2, and 5/8 by 9/16. Now here is the pouch. Again, Proto 500. There are 5 wrench slots on this, so I believe we are missing one. But still, what a cool find, and I got it for a deal. We ended up doing a bulk deal, so I'll tell you guys the price for everything at the end of the video. But you can kind of imagine that this was fairly cheap. Next up, gear wrench, new old stock, 21mm. Nice wrench. We have a lot of ratcheting wrenches, but we do not have a 21mm. So when I saw this, I said, well, we can use that here. Our ratcheting wrenches stop at 19mm, so that's a good one to have. Next up, I got 6 pieces of Craftsman combination wrenches. I am big into Craftsman, as you guys probably know. I'm always looking to put these wrench sets together. These were all probably $1 a piece. So we have the 1-inch Craftsman, old school Flying V, 7/8 VV, 13/16 VV, all 3 really good sizes to find. These are the larger sizes. And then 3 smaller ones, 2 7/16. One of them is a 6-point and a 5/16. The smaller ones, like the 5/16, are also hard to find because a lot of times the sets would come from like 3/8 to 3/4. So 4 of these wrenches are not normally included in the sets, and plus you got the 6-point one, so all really great finds. Next up, this is something I think he picked up somewhere in one of his tool lots. Somebody put these nut drivers in this westward pouch. This is for a 5-piece locking pliers set. We didn't get the locking pliers, but I did get this set of nut drivers. So these are Vaco, in excellent shape, just the black handles. This one is the largest one at 11 millimeter, and it goes down. We have every size: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We have a 5.5, a 5, a 4.5, and a 4. Again, they're all just really nice, USA made, nice black handles. So thought that was a really awesome set. Definitely more inclusive than the sets that we have here in the shop, because there are 10 pieces here, and I think our metric set might be like 6 or 7 pieces. I got 2 pieces of nice woodworking tools. He had a lot of woodworking tools. He had a whole bin full of stuff that I might buy from him in the future. Just couldn't swing it at this time. But these 2 he had separate, and he was looking to sell them because I think the boxes got wet, and I think he just kind of was like over it at that point. But this is a Stanley No. 5 made in Sheffield, England. It is in the box. I do not think it is unused. I believe it's been used a couple times, but it still has the tag on it, and that's really cool. But when we look at the blade on the underside, you could see a couple of nicks here, so it looks like somebody might have run this a couple times. There's a little wood shavings in there, but this is like almost pristine, almost new old stock. This thing could be restored and look brand new with very little work. The only thing, other than just giving the blade a quick detail on the sharpening, is the handles are losing their finish, the shellac or whatever they put on here. But that's an easy fix. You can unscrew these, sand them down, and refinish them. Other than that, the rest of it really just needs a cleaning. Very minor rust removal on the base itself. It's still in really great shape with the box. Had to have it. That is a nice plane right there. Next up, this one is a Miller's Falls. This is the number 85 rabbit plane. Again with the box. Probably used a couple times. You know, you can see there's some wood dust in here. It's been used. Made in USA. Again, in really great shape. Somebody took good care of this thing. You can see the Miller's Falls logo here. Now, I usually always pick up anything Miller's Falls if it's reasonably priced, and I knew that he was going to give me a good deal on this. We have the other piece here. I'm not sure what it's called. Fence. Nick's calling it a fence. He's probably right. I'm just not into planes as much as some other guys. I haven't actually used them much. I've played around with them, but I haven't really actually used them for woodworking, really. But when I pick them up, I do appreciate these old tools, and I thought this was just such a cool find. With the woodworking stuff, I found one carving tool. This is a Sorby out of Sheffield, England. A little bit of rust on here, but you know, that's a nice curved carving tool for lathe work, and eventually I want to get into that. You can see at one point this was $8, but I don't think you can get a tool like this for $8 anymore. Not made this way. Never seen this before. This is Japanese. It's a razor saw by the Gyokocho? I don't know how to say it, but it's a very nice saw, and I don't have anything like this. I thought it was really cool. You got kind of this twisted handle here. Not sure if that's bamboo or something else. Laser etched logo on here. Very nice. You know, somebody kept this in good shape. They kept it in this little sleeve here. Thought it was a sweet pickup. Next up, this is something that kind of brings me back. When I was growing up, we used one of these incandescent work lights for every home project. My dad still uses his to this day. I'm more of an LED guy, as I'm a younger generation, and some LED work lights can really give you a lot of light, but I grew up using these incandescent corded lights, and this is new old stock, Sears. Nobody's even ever put it together. This has the reel that you can hang. You know, you have the plugs on here, you have the switch, And I just thought it was cool. And again, like I said, it's nostalgic for me. Always doing projects with my dad as a kid, and holding the light was always my job. So with the box, you know, that's just pretty cool. All right, we're going to swing down to the bottom, go through the bottom row. We're going to do the pipe wrenches later because there's a bit more to it than what you see right there. Got two of these refrigeration wrenches. This is a Yellow Jacket. I haven't heard of that brand, but maybe it's familiar for the trades. 1/4 inch by 3/8 ratcheting. Seems like a really nice one. Made in Taiwan. And then we have a Bonnie. Bonnie, of course, is a USA made tool. And this one, this looks like 1/4 inch with the reversible switch. Then you have what's probably a solid 1/4 inch box there, plus maybe a 1/2 inch drive over there, and this little square here. So this is the RF45. Got a couple ratchets. He had a bunch of bins with miscellaneous stuff. He told me, you know, anything in there would be $1 a piece, so any ratchet I saw I figured was worth it. Craftsman butterfly ratchet. It's a flying V. It's got a lot of grease and grime in here, but once I clean this thing up, this thing actually will be pretty nice. You know, for a ratchet that came out of the, I think they're the early 60s. I think that's a nice find there. Craftsman quick release, probably a V series model, 44985 V series. Another Craftsman quick release, V series 43785. This one I bought, and I told him, I said, I'm going to buy this and just take it off your hands because I want to play around with it, see if I can get it going. This thing is completely locked up. You can't switch the switch, you can't turn the ratchet, you can't push the quick release. We got all this rust and corrosion down here. This adapter is stuck on there. This is a VG series. So this might come back in a later video if I feel like playing around with it and showing you guys how to fix something like that. Next one I thought was interesting. We have the Champion Plug Master. I found these before. They're pretty cool. They are a flex head 3/8 drive ratchet, model CT40515. A little rough looking, but it actually works pretty nice. You've got the flex head. Doesn't have any tabs or locking mechanism. It's just kind of a nice tight fit. A little bit of swing on there. Knurled handle. We got an entire socket set. A couple weeks ago, I bought from the seller. I bought his 3/8 drive Klein set at the flea market, and then looking through his stuff, I found the 1/2 inch drive set. So these are all USA made sockets, extensions, and spark plug socket. The ratchet is a mystery though to me. Klein tools. This one actually looks brand new, like new old stock. 65820. It's not marked with country of origin, so I assume they probably had the ratchets made over in Taiwan or China. Box is in immaculate shape. I'm not even sure if anybody actually used any of the tools in here. Maybe once or twice, but they have no signs of wear. Box on the outside just has minor little issues. A little bit of bubbling, a little bit of paint cracked off. Probably was rolling around in somebody's tool bag or something, and maybe they just never used it. Socket set, impact set by Williams. Again, a couple weeks ago I bought his 3/8 drive set, and this time I found the 1/2 inch drive set. These are both SAE, by the way, if I didn't mention that. So these are SAE deep well 1/2 inch drive sockets. 8-piece set here, 6-point. This I bought. It's pretty dirty, but we have these three down the end are Protos, swivel sockets. These two are Protos. We have a universal joint, and then we have a snap-on swivel socket. So some part of a set, probably missing one or two on the Proto. The Protos are 12-point. They're extremely grimy, so these are going to have to go in the ultrasonic cleaner, probably the tumbler. But hey, it was cheap, and I don't normally find Proto swivels, so I thought that was a good pickup. I'm going to swing up here just for a second, show you guys some pry bars and punches. We have a Craftsman double line USA brake service tool, otherwise known as the brake spoon, the drum adjuster. That's a nice find. I'll be taking that for my collection. Nick likes having a good collection of those because they're all a little bit different, and every brake drum needs a little bit different angle or size. This is 5 pieces of snap-on punches, snap-on underline logo. Not a complete set, but at least half a set. I think the regular set is 8 or 10 pieces maybe. But I found these in one of the junk bins, so I had to snag those. And this guy here is a Mayhew Lyman pry bar 458. Nice one. 2 adjustable wrenches this time. I know, I'm slacking here. I probably bought the rest of the adjustable wrenches he had before. This one is a Bonnie. It's an 8-inch, the BW8. A little bit of rust, but still a nice wrench. And Rob, if you're out there thinking you're going to get this one, I'm sorry, but I'm actually going to keep this one for myself. I think I need this one in the collection. I have a Bonnie Con, but I don't have one that's just Bonnie. And the other one is a Klein. This one is almost new old stock. The only thing on it that kind of brings it away from new old stock, it looks like it's been used once or twice here. You can see a little bit of the nicking on the end of the jaw there. And then we got a little bit of rust up here. But other than that, I mean, for probably $2 or so, I consider that an excellent pickup. Got a couple pairs of channel lock pliers. Picked out 3 of them. First one up here, if you'll see, that's the V-groove jaw. This is model 442. You don't see those too often. You can go and buy them. Channel Lock still makes them. But I don't regularly see these, and I don't have these, so this is one for the collection of channel locks. Nice shape on here, just needs a little bit of cleanup. And talking about cleanup, if you guys aren't using the tub of towels, I think you need to get on the tub of towels game. So here I'm showing you what it looks like when I picked it up and what it looks like with a couple minutes of rubbing with the tub of towels. That is an incredible amount of difference. Now, tub of towels can be used on plastic, metal, glass, vinyl, really almost anything. But don't think it's going to take away everything. If you can see this older pair of pliers with the cracked handles, this has gone really hard and this grease is really deep. So this one is not going to clean up like that. But when you have a tool that really just has a thick layer of grime on it, tub of towels has a lot of good degreaser in there. And it's not harmful for you, don't go and eat it or anything, but it doesn't affect your skin or anything like that. They say you can even clean your hands with it. But really nice for just doing quick cleanups like that. I even did this adjustable wrench. It was full of gunk when I got it, just from being mixed in with a lot of these dirty tools. So if you guys aren't familiar with the tub of towels, I'll just go on a little rant here, but this is what they look like. I buy this one, the 90 wipes bin. I use these all the time. I use them on practically almost every tool that you see we pick up, and they're awesome. A lot of other guys on YouTube are using them. They're really great. We keep them even with our truck. We use them to clean our hands sometimes, even grease off of equipment and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested, I am doing an Amazon affiliate link. It doesn't cost you any extra money. All it is a link in the description down below where it'll send you straight to the Amazon website, so it'll save you some time, and then we get a little bit of commission just for heading you there. But I'm not pushing you to buy anything if you don't need them. But if you do buy tubs of towels and you gotta re-up on them and you want to support the channel, appreciate it. Check this out. This is a Masakuni. This is a Japanese pair of pliers, cutting pliers. Very unique look on the handles there. And on eBay, these go for about $200. You see the writing up here. So this is an 8-inch model. I saw these from the seller a while ago, and he said they were for trimming bonsai. I'm not sure if that's actually true or if they're just wire cutters. I really don't know a lot about them, but I know they're pretty desirable, collectible. If you guys know anything about Masakuni, definitely leave it in the link down below. I think they're really cool. I was going to buy them a while ago from him, but he wanted to ask the $200 at the flea market, and I thought he was crazy. And then he sat on them for like a year or so, and I saw him the other day, and I asked him, and he basically just gave them to me. So that was cool. And I got another Klein Tools lightweight flush cutter. Again, if you guys aren't using flush cutters, get in that game. Great for zip ties, wire, anything. You can get them cheap on Amazon. I'm not an affiliate of that, don't worry. Not going to push you too hard on that, but it is a really great thing to have. You can get the cheap ones. They work just as good as this, but for $1, I can have one in the Klein name, you know, for what that's worth. Another Klein. This is the ratcheting, I think. Again, this is more of like a woodworker's tool, but for this one, it's actually an electrician's tool. But these are the push drills. This one has a bit driver in it, so I'm just trying to get it to, it ratchets. You can hear it ratchet on here. But there it goes, yep. Again, I'm not that familiar with them. So this one has a plastic maroon colored handle. It's in great shape. But you can see it's got the push mechanism. You can drill, you can drive screws with it. Pretty cool. Kind of an old school tool, but you know, I guess there's still some guys out there today using them. Figured it was worth the pickup. Got a collection of screwdrivers here. Start out with this one. To be honest, I can't even remember which one this is. It's a Western Auto. I thought that was pretty cool. It's a USA made wood handle Phillips #1. This, I just was astounded when I found it. Miller's Falls, and it's called the Enforcer. So this is a stubby flat blade screwdriver. Beautiful handle, by the way. And then see what it says here? Use a 1/4-inch socket. It has a 1/4-inch socket driver in there. So if you really got to torque down on it, you don't have to ruin it by putting a pair of vice grips on it like you see people do. You just put your 1/4-inch drive on there and you get some extra turning power. It even has a hexagon shank if you want to put a wrench there, if you're trying to use a wrench. Craftsman, cushion grip. You don't see this style too often. Cushion grips are very nice. Made in USA, flat blade, black oxide. We have a Vaco screw holding screwdriver. This is the K36. You put your screw in here and then you move that up and it creates tension in the slotted screw. And that's how you hold your screw. Very simple, very cool. A little stubby, Phillips #1. It's a red diamond R21. Rob, you can have this Bonnie though. This is a nice little Bonnie, little flat blade screwdriver. Stanley, 100 plus, stubby Phillips #2. This one is a Dunlap flat blade. The yellow and red handle, those are my favorites. They made these with both the Sears name and the Dunlap name. Possibly even the companion name, I'm not too sure about that one, but I know the Sears companion and the Dunlap was all related. It's their lower tier brand. I just think these are really cool looking. Another Stanley 100 plus flat blade. Got a Crescent USA flat blade. And an SK Wayne 1/4-inch driver. Name's pretty worn on this one. The white paint is kind of gone from there, but still in good, usable condition. And then I got 3 of the exact same Stanley nut driver new old stock. I bought these from him because I know he's been sitting on them for a while, and at the flea market, it's not really the place for people to buy stuff like this. So I'm going to put them on eBay. I know there's people probably have this set, and maybe they're missing the 7/16. I'll have 3 of them, new old stock. Pony pipe and bar clamp pads. There's 4 of them in here, made in the USA, originally sold for $5.95. It does have a barcode, so they're not that old. But I like clamps. I use clamps a lot, and having these pads sometimes is really worth it. Sometimes you just need to protect what you're working with. I bought some staplers. This is not something we would normally pick up. Swing line, made in USA, number 407. Brand new in the box. These were $1 a piece. I asked him, I said, how much you want for them? I was just checking in case he was thinking they were worth a lot, but he said $1 a piece. And I said, yeah, I'll buy these. I love a good stapler. They don't make them like they used to. These aren't too old. They do have a plastic top on them, but there is some metal construction in here as well. Like the base is metal. But they're USA made. And with the box, I thought that was pretty cool. You guys let me know what you think about that. We got another Miller's Falls item. Nice little torpedo level. 190C, I believe it says. That's pretty cool. In the pouch. So I think that's new old stock. It's beautiful. Aluminum. Up here for a minute we have a Keston or Keeson. It's a 100-foot tape measure. I love these things. If you don't have one, you need one. If you're going to measure up to 100 feet precisely, you need one of these. You know, your tape measure is not going to be 100 foot, you know, your normal tape measure. So these are good to have. We use them a lot in the landscape industry because we do retaining walls, drainage work, walkways, stuff where you need to be precise with your calculations. So that comes in handy a lot. We're going to get to the pipe wrenches, I promise. There's a bit more than you think. I went kind of nuts with that, so we'll continue with this row. The Greenlee Phase Sequence Indicator. Now I bought this because we do have two pieces of three-phase equipment in the shop. We have a mill and a lathe. Both of those we bought just to play around with machinist stuff, really get into doing some custom metalworking. Now we like to pick up these machines for cheap, so we like to do auction. And when we bought our current lathe, it came and it wasn't running. So Nick had to do some wiring and diagnostics and stuff and figure out what was going on. So I believe this will help him identify the different phase wires. I'm really not an electrician or know anything really much about three-phase. Nick knows a little bit more. And when he was working on that, he has his father, who's an electrical engineer, to help him. So we do have the right people for the job, but I believe this tool might help us in the future if we buy more three-phase equipment. Next up is the Ideal 120-volt AC circuit breaker fuse finder with flashlight. I like it because, well, you can plug this into your wall socket and then go to your breaker panel, and you should be able to find out what breaker that wall socket is on. And I think that's going to be pretty helpful. Me and Nick both own older homes, not too old, but mine's from the 1960s, his is from 1970. So sometimes they used to just throw random things on random circuits, and you don't know which circuit you're dealing with. So that was cool. We got some rigid stuff over here. We have two brand new old stock 3/4 inch pipe threaders. The brand new in the package. You can see just, you know, a little bit of age on them. But I bought two of them just because I thought they were cool. He was looking to get rid of stuff. I mean, you don't see those every day. Yeah, you can go and buy a new one, but finding these new old stock packages I think is cool. Yeah, a couple packages of Sawzall blades, you know, for like $1 a piece, just saving money on future stuff. This is another brand new rigid tool. I haven't even opened it up yet. It's a chain wrench. So let's get this opened up. I think this is going to just pop off, Nick. Looking good so far. That's looking clean. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? That is awesome. Because sometimes you open up new old stock stuff, and if it was kept in a wet environment, it's all rusty. The chain looks really nice. Even the wrench itself, you know, these finished surfaces that aren't really protected look good. USA made chain wrench by Rigid. Brand new in the package. The C12. So now we're going to get to the pipe wrenches. And these ones look pretty sweet. I said to him, because he had a lot of pipe wrenches, and I said, what do you want for all the pipe wrenches? And he hit me with $100. And you might be like, ooh, $100 for that? No, there's more. I got a whole bucket full of them too. These are just the nice ones. So we'll go through these, I'll clean up the table, and then we'll go through the rest. Okay, two 10-inch rigid USA heavy-duty pipe wrenches. This one's a little bit more used than this one. These are like almost new old stock, but not quite, probably used once or twice. Three of them, actually. Sorry, three 10-inch. One 12-inch, And then we have the 12-inch offset angle, the E12. And these are cool. And I never see them in this condition. That is just cool. That is really nice and clean. All right, let me clear out some space. I'll show you the rest of the pipe wrenches. So let's do that now. All right, guys, here's the rest of the pipe wrench hoard. Over here on the left-hand side, we have 5 rigid 18-inch pipe wrenches in different conditions, different ages. Then we got another stack of rigid. We got 2 14s, we have a 12, we have 2 10s, an 8, and then we even got a 1 to 2 inch rigid pipe cutter. Then we got 4 that aren't rigid. Right up here at the top is an Armstrong 18-inch. Then we have a Tremont 18-inch. This one here is a red diamond, and the one on the bottom is, I think, a 14 Stilson Walworth with the wooden handle. Pretty dirty, grimy, but you know, this one especially definitely worth a restoration. Wood handle's in okay shape, definitely cleanable, and definitely would look nice. The red diamond, it's got that nice logo there. You can see that scripture logo there. I thought that was pretty sweet. This one's actually in pretty good shape, just really greasy. So we're almost done. We're not quite out of the woods yet. We got to show you what Nick bought. So Nick likes a little bit different stuff than I do. So this is the stuff that he picked out, and I'll let him talk over this here and explain what purchases he made, how much, and why.
All right, so the first thing I saw was this snap-on box, and I said, hey, that looks like a Fleur thermal imager. Fleur is just another brand, and I said, what do you want for this? And he said, well, I have another fluke meter to go with that too. He said they both work. He showed me this. The batteries were kind of corroded, but we got a good functioning unit there. But I was really excited about this. So if we turn that on there, second to boot up here. But this is just a thermal imager. So you can see Kurt there, and it tells you the temperature of his body. Then a scale on the right that shows the maximum and a minimum temperatures. So this is really good, especially for our automotive work. You can actually see here in the menu, you can use this to see, say, your differential. They show you a known good and a known bad, and you can basically diagnose things. So misfires, whatever. I think both me and Kurt are excited just to have those around the house for identifying air leaks. We both have older houses, like Kurt mentioned, and we both want to try to seal up our houses as best as possible, especially to keep the cold air out in the winter. Aside from that, I saw this, and if Kurt turns the box there, we've got an Evolution metal cutting chop saw. So this is just the tiny baby one, so Kurt can pull that out there. So basically what this is a 7 1/4 inch metal cutting chop saw, and what makes these cool is they just use a standard blade. Now it's not truly a standard blade, it's carbide tipped, and he threw in an aluminum cutting blade for cutting soft aluminum, and then this isn't even the right blade. This is only a 6 1/2, but this will also cut metal, and instead of making a lot of sparks and mess like this saw over here, this is our Harbor Freight, and this just has a regular like grinder disc blade, and it makes a lot of sparks and a lot of heat, and they're not super accurate. Versus this guy over here makes a nice clean cut every time, so we figured we'd pick it up. I think we paid $125. I don't know if I mentioned, he said $300 for both of those.
All right, guys, let me just stand over here. What did you think about that? That was a pretty crazy haul, right? You're probably wondering what was the total price paid. So at the end, we dealed for $900. You remember Nick spent $425. I got all the pipe wrenches for $100. That's about $5 a piece. And then I did buy another bucket full of stuff, but that's going to be a different video because this was already enough to look at. So everything else that you saw on the table in the beginning, besides those 5 pipe wrenches that were over here, was like only 200 bucks. I mean, that's a crazy deal, right? You know, pipe wrenches, I felt like I was doing him a favor trying to get some bulk stuff away from him. We're going into winter, and we're planning on at least trying to go to a couple of tool shows, whatever we can find. Winter shows are hard to find, but we like to go to those and set up tables and sell stuff. So I figured pipe wrenches, I could take all these, clean all these up, make sure they're all working good, and bring them to the show and ask, you know, 10, maybe 15 bucks, you know, depending on the size and stuff, and double, maybe 2.5 times the money on it. So I thought that was pretty cool. You guys got to let me know what your favorite find of the day is. There's so many to pick from. I mean, just in the beginning, I showed you that free gift he gave me, the Proto Los Angeles. Isn't that cool? Plus we had, you know, the new old stock rigid stuff, the new old stock Proto, those wrenches. A lot of great stuff. You guys got to let me know what you think your favorite is. We'll let you go now. It's been a long one. Thank you guys for waiting out to the end of the video. For those of you that did, leave a comment down below. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the next one.